squeezing the cheese, and we're back again after a long hiatus because we were having technical difficulties on our show, but we're back now. I'm the squeeze, he's the cheese. We're former wrestlers, tag team partners. We were wrestlers 25 years ago, not just a lie. But hey, we had the dream, right? And look at wrestling now; it's better than
That's right.
ever. And soon it's going to be Elimination Chamber, and lots of stuff is going on in the E right now. Lots of stuff is going on in AEW. We watch AEW, but we're not going to talk about it. So anyway, what did you think? I didn't watch. Like I told you, bro, I don't have Netflix right now, so I'm not watching Raw. But what did you think of SmackDown?
I haven't seen SmackDown yet this week. I saw week. And this week Sokoa take off.
I don't know what happened, but I didn't see that part. But I think he attacked one of them or something because they were after him. I think he said, "I love you, Jacob," to Jacob Fatu, and he attacked one of them. And after that, he was gone. So I think he's on his own now. Jacob Fatu is the focal point of the show.
With Jacob, that group, they look like a threat. Like, because when I saw Solo Sokoa come out in his black and red suit and do his thumb and yell, like, yeah, he's a big dude and he'd whoop my ass in real life, but like, there was nothing about him that scared me. Nothing about him that like, oh my god, that dude's a bad motherfucker. But Jacob Fatu, when he just walks to the ring and he does that, like where he shakes and shit stuff, like that dude's scary. So at this point, do you think WWE realizes that Solo Sikoa was kind of like a swing and a miss after pushing him for like a year to try and get him to that kind of that top, echelon when they had him, fight Roman Reigns, and it just the fan reaction was never there. Do you think they're going to be quicker to pull the trigger uh, to realize uh, Jey Uso's a bust and pull him out of the WrestleMania main event?
Dude, I don't know what to do with some of these Samoans. Not all of them are one, or not all of them are winners, man. Look at this, Solo Sikoa, dude. He's got a decent look, but he's passive. Passive as all hell. The guy, he just doesn't have the look of a killer. Jacob Fatu has the look of a killer. You can tell that guy just goes in there and people are scared of him, you know. So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, the guy is he's got it all. He's got everything that he needs to be a world champion, and now he's got fan support behind him. I know you didn't watch SmackDown this week, but the fans are behind him real big. I mean, they were chanting his name. They're behind him now, so he's going to be a focal point either by the end of the year or by the start of next year. They'll probably win the Royal Rumble next year and go on to headline WrestleMania. Now, I
Now,
think it's going to
do you
be.
think they're gonna
Go on, bro.
do you think they're going to try and keep him as a heel, or do you think they're going to turn him as a face? Because, or is he going to be kind of like Stone Cold Steve Austin was, where he's a bad guy, but he still does like he still has support from the fans?
At this point, I think they're gonna have to turn him face because the guy just has too much fan support, man. Way too much fan support. So I mean, hey, we got fans here in the chat room. Hey, Brian Lowe, how you doing? Nice to see you. I'm glad you're a wrestling fan. How you doing, Farouk? Good to see you. Yeah, hope you guys are watching wrestling wherever you are. Anyway, so this is a thing. Jacob Fatu, man, he's gonna be a focal point. He's gonna be a world champion. He's gonna make a lot of money for the company. I think it's gonna be him and Braun Steiner. Well, I don't know where they're trading Braun Steiner, Braun Breaker. Who's gonna trade the title back and forth next few years? So I think it's going to be them. And then when Obafemi gets caught up to the main roster, he's going to be another one. At this point, there's some wrestlers on the main roster who've been trying to push the main eventers who I guess just didn't make the cut. I'm talking Gunther. He's so boring. They got to take the title off of him. Jey Uso is going to be a bust. Damian Priest, all those guys, man, they try to be main eventers. they don't have the fan reaction that these guys like Braun Steiner and Jacob Fatu do. So I think those guys are going to be the focal point, and the other guys are going to be treading water for a while until they finally figure it out. So what do you think?
Yeah, yeah. Like I think that and it's not my money, so I really don't care. But yeah, I think they need to pull the trigger to get like the guys who they're trying to push to main event when they're not hitting, to pull them back real quick and try and push the younger guys, the kids, to at least give them a shot. Um, to really kind of see what they can do to move forward. Like, what do you think about now with John Cena? This is his last year, his final. Do you think they should put the title on him one more time to kind of give him that, um, to kind of like that last run, or should they kind of give him some wins in some kind of big matches, but not give him wins over like marquee, like younger guys? What do you? How do you think his last year should go?
I think I don't know. They're probably going to give him the world title, or if they don't, I think he should just put over younger guys. I think he should definitely put over Jacob Fatu and Braun Steiner, but I don't know who else he's going to put over. I think he's going to just get this farewell tour, or he's going to put over a lot of guys that deserve it. So I mean, he'll probably put over Cody Rhodes. He'll probably put over Braun Steiner, Jacob Fatu, CM Punk. Just all the guys who he's got nothing to lose at this point. The guy's made so much money. Did you know he's the richest wrestler besides The Rock? He's the richest actual wrestler who's never really made money outside of the industry. He's worth like 50 or $60 million. Nobody else is worth that much money. You have Hulk Hogan,
Yeah,
who made way more money than John Cena in his time. But Hulk, with all the lawsuits and all the scandals and all that, he's lost
Not-
a lot of
not-
his fortune. He's worth like 40 million now, and a lot of it came from
is he?
That Gawker lawsuit where he sued them for the sex tape. But John Cena, he's steadily made money and he's kept his money. So, I mean, and speaking of money, the reason I'm talking about it is because I know people don't give Vince Russo too much credit, but Vince Russo was talking about how the WWE, with all their sponsors, they're beholden now to businesses. They're not beholden to the
Mhm.
fans anymore. So they have to find the
Yeah,
guys who are going to make the most money for the company. And with this Jey
yeah,
Uso thing where he's doing the yeet and all that stuff, and he's just basically a clown, and he's making so much money. They're onto something, but it's going to cool down. I don't think it's going to
I
last. I think that's going to cool
mean,
down once he's champion, and they're going to see the mistake they made, and they're gonna have to find some guy who's a long term draw. I don't think Jey Uso just can cut as world champion.
yeah, yeah. Because like if he wins the world title, like who in the history of WWE has been a weaker world champion other than like when they put the title on like Vince?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't think of one. I always thought that Jeff Hardy was a small guy that seemed like a weak world champion just because he didn't have physical stature. Shawn Michaels was another one who didn't make a lot of money. You had Diesel, who was like the worst drawing champion in history, and he was just a big, imposing guy. So you never know who the fans like. I mean, there are guys who have been strong world champions and have drawn more money for the company. It's just based on the fans' perception of who they are. And right now, they're the fans are behind Jacob Fatu, and it seems like he's going to get the push.
Yeah, I'd rather have him put the strap back on Jinder Mahal than Jey Uso.
Yeah, I mean, when they had the strap on Jinder Mahal, I thought he looked menacing with it, but he really just didn't catch on. It's like what I always say about some of these foreign wrestlers. I know people don't like to hear it, but some of these foreign wrestlers just can't catch on. I mean, Jinder Mahal is a big, imposing wrestler, but he's Indian. People aren't used to Indian wrestlers in the United States. I know WWE is global now, but it's still based in and it's still catered towards a U.S. audience, and Indian wrestlers have
Yeah,
never
yeah,
gotten over here. It's like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Asian
I guess
wrestlers in the
like
WWE, they never gotten over. So I mean,
Yeah. Well, like well, Mexicans, we had Eddie Guerrero, he got over, and Pedro Morales, he was over.
Hispanic
But yeah, I
wrestlers get
guess
over, Hispanic wrestlers get over, black wrestlers get over, and white wrestlers get over. I have really never seen any other race get over in wrestling in the
because what
United
for
States, at
eight
least, you know.
yeah,
Huh?
yeah, like Asians, they tried to put over Taka Michinoku years ago, and they
They
tried to
tried to
put
put over
push over.
Shinsuke.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The
You
Great
realize
Muda.
you're realizing that now, right? You're realizing
Yeah,
that now. I mean, people don't see it until that someone points it out, but it's just they just don't get over a lot of these foreign wrestlers. I mean, these wrestlers from different races. It's a global phenomenon, wrestling, but I mean, it's just some of these wrestlers just still don't get over, even with international crowds. Like even Alberto Del Rio got over a little bit internationally when he was being pushed as world champion. So I mean, but I mean, the Great Khali, they took the strap off the Great Khali within a month. I think I don't know how it took that long to take the strap off of him.
the Great Khali.
Yeah, man. So
That's funny. That's funny.
yeah. So what do you think? So what long term plans? WrestleMania. What do you think is going to be look? WrestleMania is going to look like this year? Who's going to be in the main event?
I don't know. Probably John Cena. Cena versus Cody.
Are you excited
Um,
for the women's matches? Rhea Ripley and who is it? Who's she going against?
I don't know who's. I don't know who it's gonna be.
Oh,
Is it
but
because who did
Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. I mean,
Charlotte?
Tiffany. This is Canada or Canada to Charlotte Flair. I think you're gonna put the title back on Charlotte Flair, but Tiffany. I mean, she's beautiful, more beautiful than Charlotte Flair, but she's just not over as Charlotte Flair. I mean, Charlotte Flair
Yeah,
just gets bad crowd reactions now, but she's still the most over wrestler in as far as females go in the WWE. So
yeah. Yeah, yeah, like I kind of don't want John Cena. I'm a big like I dig John Cena, but like I really don't want him to be in the main event at WrestleMania. Like I don't. He's done enough of them. He's been enough. Like have him there, have him do something, big. Have him have a final WrestleMania moment. But I don't think it should come at the cost of like the younger guys. The guys who instead of saying farewell or just coming in or just hitting their prime, give them give you a shot to Shorty G. The work he's been doing, the matches he's been putting in, his promo work's been awesome. Even Dominic Mysterio, with his promo work, the character he has, like those are the guys that I think should be in that spot, and not John Cena because he's still good, but he's not what he was. It's like you know, I don't think he should be sniffing the world title right now.
well, yeah, I mean, John Cena, I don't think he should even have ever come back. But the thing is, all the guys you just mentioned, they gotta have time to develop. They're still finding their way in this new administration, this new Triple H era. Because I mean, Dominic Mysterio, he's developed, he's improved by leaps and bounds. In 2 or 3 years, he's gonna be so over. And I mean, Shorty G, he's finally hitting his stride after 10 years in the company. And you have so many other guys who are doing that. JD McDonough, when he comes back from his injury, he's going to be
Dude,
over. He's finally going to
dude,
be over. I mean, the guy was getting over like as far as a heel, but now he's going to be over like he's a tough SOB. They're going to see him as fine as a Chris Benoit. Honestly, Dominic is the new Eddie Guerrero, and JD is the new Chris Benoit. That's just those are the guys they remind me of. It's just like so uncanny. I mean, I
yeah,
just don't see them as anything else. And Finn Balor, I mean, I know the Judgment Day is played for laughs, but they're a decent group. They talented wrestlers. Carlito just doesn't do
yeah.
much because I don't really know why they don't do much with Carlito, but some wrestlers, I
I
mean, they're
think
just stuck around and they haven't done much for years, but they still have a job. Oh, did you hear about the talent cuts?
no, no. Who's getting cut or who got cut?
Oh, they just got rid of a filler, man. They got rid of the Good Brothers. They got rid of Giovanni Vinci, that chick Electra
Yeah,
Lopez. Blair
Yeah.
Davenport. Who else did they get rid of? Just a bunch of people who don't really have talent that were just had contracts. That's about it.
Yeah.
Not too many chicks, but a lot of wrestlers who didn't have too much talent. They're trying to trim
Oh
the fat,
yeah.
so you know.
Yeah,
Who?
yeah, yeah. Like Isla Dawn or some shit.
Yeah, Isla
One of them
Dawn.
broads got.
One of them, Isla Dawn, was cut. I don't think she should have been cut. She was hot, but I mean the other ones got cut, so you know. Yeah,
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 yeah.
dude.
That's
So what do you think of NXT? Have you watched it?
no, bro. It's like on WB or UPN or some shit. So I can't watch on because it used to be awesome when Hulu had all the WWE stuff.
Yeah,
For one low monthly payment, you can see all of it. But now you gotta have cable to watch SmackDown. You gotta fucking watch. You got Netflix to watch Raw. You got to have another app to watch, or I think it's over the air to watch NXT. It sucks, bro.
yeah. I think they just got greedy. Like I said, they're beholden to too many businesses now. But I got an antenna that's really old, and I tried setting it up yesterday to get the CW. I put in like 100 something channels, but I didn't pull in the CW. The CW's in San Francisco in my area, and so I mean, it's like, what the hell? So I mean, it was I couldn't get it. I have to watch the replay the next day.
Where do you watch
Uh,
the replay at?
it's on the CW app. Luckily, there's an app for everything now. Get the CW app, and you can watch the replay of NXT. You can watch the episode at midnight the day after it airs.
Oh,
So
right on.
you watch
And
it on
that's
the
free.
CW app. It's free, yeah. The
Oh shit.
CW app is awesome. They have all their shows. They have every show they've ever had, and they have NXT, so it's great. I like the CW app. I mean, I missed like all of season 6 of Smallville, so maybe I'll go back and watch that one day. But yeah.
Yeah.
So they got the CW app, so you don't have to watch. You don't have to miss any of NXT if you don't want to. You can watch
Yeah.
what you want.
Yeah.
It's just like what's it called? That new show is gonna air, the new WWE show, Evolve. That's gonna
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
on Tubi, and you can watch that anytime. I mean, Tubi's free; it's still free. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Right
Speaking
on.
of which, did you ever get a chance to see the old Evolve? Evolve was a organization started up by an ex WWE writer. His name was Gabe Sapolsky, and they were pretty good. They were a little indie fed, but they had some great wrestlers coming out of there. I guess WWE bought them, and now they're the feeder organization to NXT. And they say that whoever's from Evolve, they're going to get on
Hmm.
NXT first, and then if they're good on NXT, they're going to make it to the main roster. And they got TNA, which is basically another feeder organization now. So I mean, yeah, WWE has a lot of feeder organizations around the world now. They're not joking around. They want to snatch up all the great talent. Basically, have a monopoly on the business, and
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't wrestle there, wrestle in AEW or New Japan. Oh, and speaking of which, New Japan is being gutted. It's not the same organization. The talent there is just nothing, man. Nothing there.
Yeah. Now, do you think like with like Evolve and like TNA, like do you think they'll ever go back to like a regional, a territorial, type agreement where TNA is like, oh, we'll work, we'll do all our shows uh, east of the uh, Appalachian Mountains, and then Evolve will do like the Midwest, and will they ever do that to kind of get more? Because I wish there were more live shows. The last two live wrestling shows I've been to was to midget wrestling, because there's not enough like regular pro wrestling shows that I'd go see, and I think it's because each like federation, each organization tries to do like the entire United States, and but they want to get they only want to do like bigger shows in bigger cities. What do you think?
Well, I always thought that when Vince would pass away, that they would go back to the territory system, but it looks like Triple H is just taking over like where Vince left off, and I think Triple H is going to keep the WWE strong, and I just don't see a return to the territory system. I think whatever small organization comes along, eventually is going to have to work with the WWF or I mean the WWE or AEW because the wrestlers are just going to get snatched up by a bigger company. There's no such thing as loyalty anymore, and there's no such thing as guys who aren't going to want to work for a bigger company. Like I don't know
Yeah,
if you saw this on Netflix, but there's a documentary about Ohio Valley Wrestling on Netflix, which is run by Al Snow. And Al Snow, that's a little organization based out of Kentucky. He's got Ohio Valley Wrestling, right? But they run local shows. They go all over that territory. But I mean, they're a little company, and I guess Al Snow would like one of his wrestlers to go to the WWE, but they don't. And I mean, so there are little systems, there are little territories around, but they're not. They're just not heard of. You have to actually search for them. I mean, they're not going to advertise because they just don't have advertising and revenue. So I mean,
yeah,
it's like there's people around. It's like when you're on the internet and you want to search for something like a book or a CD. It's not going to fall in your lap. You have to actually do some work, you know. So I
yeah,
mean, it's like wrestling is not like the way it used to be, where you could just stick a fork and you get it's like you get there's a wrestling organization everywhere. It's like
yeah,
just not like that anymore. I
yeah,
mean, it just happened that Vince just stole all the top talent, erased all the territories, and that was it. So I mean, it's never been like that again. And when
true.
WCW died, there was no big two. There was no real competition. So I mean, we. I remember when I was stopped watching wrestling in 2003. It's because there were lean times ahead, and the WWE was even hurting for cash. So I mean, it's just right now it's strong, but who knows when it's going to be weak again? I mean, there's always boom
Yeah,
and bust cycles in wrestling. So I mean, whatever.
yeah, yeah. Right on. All right, brother. I got to get going. I got to work soon.
Great, bro. Great. We'll pick this up next week. Great. This has been the Squeezing the Cheese show, and we're glad you guys to watch the show today. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week for more analysis and great coverage of pro wrestling. Until then, see ya.
See ya.